Hi, my name is Pallavi and I've been a part of Pragathi for over 5 years. Pragathi has made a huge difference in my life by allowing me to connect to my Indian heritage. During my visit to India with other Pragathi Youth Board members, I was able to bond with the children we visited in rural schools because I shared their excitement for elements of Indian culture, such as dance and music. Two other Pragathi board members, Vinita and Sweta, and I performed traditional Bharatanatyam dances for the kids, and they in turn showed us their talent in dancing and singing. These experiences were so meaningful because we were able to celebrate our common heritage while simultaneously seeing the results of our fundraising efforts in many schools. My trip to India also allowed me to witness the country's beauty by touring cultural sites such as the Taj Mahal. And not to mention, I also got to enjoy the flavorful cuisine that India offers. Without Pragati, I would not have been able to learn as much about my own background as an added benefit of helping others in need. Thank you, Pragati.
Hi, my name is Sagar Mulchandani, and I've been part of Pragathi for the past several years, and I was a board member about 2 years ago. For me, Pragathi really brought to my attention the things that kids in America take for granted, such as clean drinking water, restrooms, clothing for every day of the week, but most importantly, in education. And because of that, I've worked with Pragathi through several ways to help raise funds. One was making presentations to different Rotary clubs to see if they were willing to make a donation to Pragathi. And I really appreciate this exposure to the Rotary clubs because without it, I wouldn't know about the life changing work that they do, just like Pragathi itself. Another way I helped raise funds was through a local art class held by Lata Auntie, and I found it as a really enjoyable way to raise funds within our community. Lastly, I would like to thank Pragati for everything that they have taught me and done for the underprivileged kids in India. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sweta Ramamurthy, and I've been in Pragati for about 5 years now, and I was on the board for the last year. Over the past several years, I've learned a lot about implementing service projects and fundraising, but the thing that stands out most in my mind was our trip to India. I've always known that education is really, really important deep down inside. And I've known that without education, you wouldn't be able to go anywhere in life, you wouldn't be able to be anyone. But I never appreciated how lucky I was to have the public system here until I went to India and saw these kids get so enthusiastic about learning, about going to school, even if they didn't have books or desks and chairs or a proper meal to eat at lunch. They were just so enthusiastic to just learn something. And yet here we dread school so much. It was such a contrast to see them get so excited. So that was a truly eye-opening experience that I got to see because of Pragati.
My name is Vinita Popat, and I'm a junior at Cornell University. I was involved with the Pragathi Youth Program for over 5 years, and I was a member on the board in 2012. One of the most, so as a Pragathi board member, we would go around to several places in the United States and fundraise for the program, but the most notable experience that I think we had was actually going to India and seeing what our efforts had actually done. One thing that I found very notable was that we met this girl named Shanta who had to leave her elementary schooling very early on in order to help her family by working as a maid. What the Pragati program had helped her do was the headmaster from the school we visited, Jay Ramji from Yelahanka, was able to bring back Shanta, and every evening after she completed her work, she could go and complete her schooling as well. And so now, instead of ending her schooling at 5th grade, she is currently a 9th grader, even though she had stopped a long time ago. I think that was very notable about this program, and it was really exciting that we were able to help something like that happen, especially because a lot of times in these impoverished areas, people really can't do both, get their education and do their work. And so the fact that Pragati was able to help in some way to let these people do both and grow was very exciting for me.
Hello, my name is Arjun. I have been part of the Pragati organization for over 6 years, and I was a board member almost 4 years ago. My work with Pragathi has really opened my eyes to the small things we take for granted. Everyone knows how fortunate we are to be living here in the US and about the poor conditions many students face in rural India. But what do we really know? My work with Pragathi has allowed me to meet with students living in these areas and understand firsthand the conditions which they deal with. Given all my work with Pragathi, something which really stands out to me is how much of an effect the work we do here in the US can have on these students. In the most simple terms, just $3 can provide clothing for a student for an entire year. That $5 footlong that you had last week can provide lunch for an entire month, and just $30 can provide a teacher's salary for a whole month. My work with Pragathi has allowed me to appreciate the small things which we take for granted, and has allowed me to understand myself more completely.